here. Like he could have attacked there and offered the trade. Now it's not a great trade for him. The hangerback walker would have still picked up the counter.
So suppression bond. And now attack gets the trigger.
And he's going to get a trigger exactly, so that's going to be 6 damage. Ouch. Kibler drops down to 9.
So yeah, +1/+1 for the hangerback walker from the Council's Lieutenant's ability.
Right.
Because it's renowned. Looks like another suppression bond's in hand for Maguchi.
You can see what his line here is.
Straight ahead into the red zone.
No kidding.
So, okay. So he's going to get, Brian Kibler's going to get renowned. It's at 9, though. What? Okay, so 5 mana for Kibler open, and Maguchi attacks. And then he kills the tapped creature.
Wow,
So
that was it.
Yeah, Swift Reckoning. I barely had time to confirm the card name before the match was
what
over.
A beating. Maguchi doesn't look too worried about it either. And frankly, neither is Kibler, but
yeah,
that was a thrashing.
Yeah, I actually don't think I'm not sure he had the second suppression bonds. It may have been the Swift Reckoning that I saw in his hand.
Jump back over and take a look at Jerry T.
Yeah, here you go. Jerry Thompson. Black-red. This is something we talked about a little bit when we were doing the breakdown of the color pairs. We were not talking about Embermaw Hydras, were we?
The Hellion?
The Hellion.
No, we never got to the Hellion. It's not bad, though. 4/5 Trample's a good start for 5 mana. Doesn't stop there either.
Yeah, he's got 2 Fire Fiend Elementals. They're both renowned.
So they're both 4/3s. They had haste. I guess they still technically do.
Sure. And so remember, those, because of the Hellion, he gets an extra, those things are dealing an extra point of damage.
But the Vastwood Gorger's doing an admirable job of holding off the fort, or protecting the fort here.
Yep. And there it goes, Veteran Sidearm, so +1/+1, and not really going to be much.
I mean, it allows it to get through, right?
Yeah.
4, 5,
I'm
6.
saying Juicer doesn't have any kind of good. He can't eat it anymore.
Right.
There we go. So it's 5 power, plus it's doing an additional point of damage because of the Hellion.
Now he can trade here, though, right?
Yes, absolutely. He can trade. He can chump and gain 3. But he's thinking about the double block.
He would lose both of those creatures if he double blocked.
But he would draw a card off the Rune Servitor, so would Jerry. But he'd also gain 3 from the Guardian of Thompson.
Indeed.
But that doesn't seem great.
Uses it 10. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like he has any fantastic situations here. Okay, well, this looks a little better. He's got Titanic Growth in his hand and the mana to cast it.
Aha! That makes it much simpler.
Much simpler. It's pretty tough for him to get blown out here with a 5/6 Vastwood Gorger, which, by the way, has been doing good work for me. I know it's boring. I get it. I know that's a lot of flavor text, not an exciting card, but I find that keyword big does pretty good in this format. All right, so nice.
Well, okay, he eats it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe play there. I mean, even doing 5 damage to it at instant speed doesn't get the job done. And Jerry didn't have it.
So Fire Fiend Elemental down, Fetid Imp joins the team, and then the other Fire Fiend Elemental picks up the sidearm.
Looks like we're in game 1 here.
Yeah.
Good old Terry Johnson. Doing work here against Martin. Both of these players at 5-1.
Okay, we'll keep giving an update on what's going on here. But in the meantime, we're gonna go back to the Kibler Maguchi match, which could very well be over already based on the speed of game one.
Oh, Maguchi's playing black. Interesting.
Oh, we didn't see that.
Not much.
It looks like Kibler is also
Ooh.
on a. Is this a different deck?
Yeah, it is. And look. Maritime Guard beat down.
Scab Clan Berserkers
Yeah.
beat down.
You gotta love that.
Stalwart Avon for Maguchi.
Card's been rock solid.
Yeah. That's a Scab Clan Berserkers, by the way.
Very good card. Got my eye on that one. Maybe
you-
even for constructed.
Yeah, you sneak that through, and then it's kind of got very Eidolon of the Great Ravel kind of feel
It's
to
got
it.
that vibe to it, and it hits hard.
Yeah, well, Kibler's got all the defensive.
Beat down
Guardian
creatures. Yeah. He's
So
somehow
maybe
on
switched into an artifact deck here for
Automaton
game
aggro.
2. What did we see from him in game one?
He was white-red in game one. Remember, he was
Yeah.
playing all the Knights of the
Yeah.
Pilgrim's Road. He's going to throw a different look at Maguchi here.
Okay, there's the Council's Lieutenant.
And this is a little closer to reality here. Often you'll see it on turn 3 or turn 4.
Yeah.
You don't get to turn 2 it every time.
Yeah, and so what I like when I like that card best,
Mhm.
if it's on turn 4, is when you have like red-white, and you can subterranean scout it through.
Get it renowned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, there's the Void Mage Separatist. Bounces the
Or the Separatist Void Mage.
or the Separatist Void Mage. Yeah. Depends on which side of the table you're looking at it from.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Wow, that is
Guiltleaf Winnower is one of the cards I've also got my eye on. Maybe constructed playable, right?
Yeah, we're talking about elves.
It's somewhere in that range, but it's really great in limited. And even though it only took out a Maritime Guard here,
it kills the Siege Rhino, right?
it does. Yeah, and it leaves behind a real threat. A 4/3 with Menace. Oh, my God. Brian Kibler, you amazing man, you. Just running in the Void Mages back-to-back here. Maguchi's at 7? Wow. This is, I guess Kibler didn't take too kindly to the thumping that he got on game 1. He's going to return the favor here.
So he eats the Void Mage, and Maguchi falls to 1. Whatever he casts, it better be a creature. Casts a pair. Stalwart
Okay.
Avon and
Okay, he's fighting.
yeah.
I like this.
Lieutenant.
This is a huge turn here. If Kibler can do basically anything, he can win the game. If he
Subterranean
can't,
scout,
yeah, I mean, interact with the creature in any way would do it. But Maguchi, if he gets to untap here, he's got 4 cards in his hand. He easily could stabilize and start turning the corner here. It's going to be tough for him at 1 though. He doesn't have any wiggle room. But right now, Kibler's attacks do not look very good. He would lose 2 of his creatures if he attacked with everything. He's going to force a trade here. And Maguchi's going to oblige. So take out the
puts the Lieutenant first.
Right. That way the Separatist Void Mage maybe can attack later.
Yeah.
Maritime Guard number 2.
Our Marines will be guarded.
All right. So this is a big turn for Maguchi. He needs to do something to stabilize, and he
Nope.
can't. Again,
it's the last Maritime Guard that gets you every time.
yeah. And look at Kibler laugh. Let's take that, kiddo. Yeah, Maguchi even has to smile at that one and then give a little grimace.
He's like, ha ha ha.
Maritime Guard beatdown gets there for Kibler.
There you
Do
get
you
a
think
look.
he's going to change his deck again?
Maybe. Get a look down the whole row of feature matches. We saw Mike Sigrist and Shuhei Nakamura, beyond this table. But here we are, still deep into game 1.
Wow.
Martin Jesus, Jerry Thompson. This board is a mess.
This is
Martin's
a
at
mess.
6. A Fetid Imp is pecking away.
sort of the animist for Yuza. Looks like he's decided what he wants to actually put it on.
He's sort of an animist. And what is that above? Is that the...
That's a Rune Servitor, I believe. Is that what you're seeing? 2-2?
Is that a 2-2? Yeah.
Maybe. It's a little obstructed. I can't quite tell, actually. Might not be.
Couldn't tell if it was that or like a Gold Forge Sentinel. But
No, it's a 2-2. I thought it was that at first, too.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-2. I don't
yeah, it
know
is a
if
rune servitor.
It's a rune servitor. That's his foot, right?
That's his foot.
the little
Yeah, there we go.
pedestal's foot or whatever. What a mess.
Jerry's considering. All right, he's going to move his
The sidearm.
sidearm, yeah. Might be moving it and not attacking. Yep.
You're right. Now it can block the Orchard Spirit profitably.
I think that was a Chandra's Ignition
What?
for Yuza.
For Yuza? Do you want me to look? I don't know if I can look. There's Yuza. Yep. Oh my god. BDM. That's half of the Chandra's Ignitions in his deck.
Well, here we go.
This is risky business.
Yeah. He's like,
He's going to do
"Dude."
it on his Gorger if there's a removal spell, and there's not, and that's going to do it. That was exciting.
That was
'Cause
filthy.
if Jerry had one of the 2 instant speed removal spells, this game would be fully on.
Sure.
Doesn't have it though, and the game ends on the spot. So it's like very, either I
You
win
take
this turn,
5, all your creatures take 5, and oh, by the way, I still have this Vestwood Gorger.
which is going to hit you as well.
Yeah.
The interesting part about that too is that it did look like, while a major setback if his Gorger were to get hit. I think Yuza was still okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's say that it did get killed and he gets 2 for 1. I think that game isn't over then. So cluttered that board.
Yeah.
Also, Yuza was behind, so he had incentive to go ahead and fire it off. And
No fear.
ends
Come on,
the game.
Marshall, no fear.
This is Yuza. He had fear. He also just realized he could still
All right.
take the hit.
We're underway here in Game 3 between Andrea Maguchi and Brian Kibler.
Oof.
No,
Kibler, sigh of relief.
No
on
Council's Lieutenant.
double planes, no lieutenant.
Looks like a stalwart Avon here on turn 3.
Kibler with nothing. Mono Mountains here.
I love that card. Just so impossible to block it. The Acolyte of the Inferno. 3-1, Renown 1. But, like, if you want to block it, your creature takes 2.
2. It trades up. It gets stuff out
Oh,
of the way.
look at
It's
this.
great. Here we go. How about a nice Renown Enabler?
Wow.
Separatist Void Mage. Wow, that's a beating.
Get in for 3, and now you have a 4-2 that...
Shocks anything
Yeah.
that blocks it.
Yeah.
Bzz. Including that. So Manguchi's going to hold back now.
So it's
The
gonna keep
Avon
back
being a
2-4,
2-4
yeah.
can actually trade. Assuming that Kibler doesn't have anything.
Like another Void Mage.
Like that, for example. Burn spell would get the job done as well.
Is Kibler holding a Will Breaker? The most controversial card in Magic
That is
Origins
one of
Limited.
them. That one's very controversial for sure.
Okay, so in comes the Acolyte. Oh, a Celestial Flare.
Oof. I like that play by Manguchi. He blocked first, tried to get a trick or a burn spell out of Kibler. But Flare's just going to take it down. What is Kibler thinking about? Does he have a counter spell in his hand?
Maybe he just wants the value of thinking about it.
Could be.
Oh, he has
So it did block first, so like I said,
Yeah.
so the 2 damage is still going to happen. And he's still going to get to use Fiery Impulse here to take down the Avon. So maybe I don't like that block as much, right? Maybe just fire it off. I guess the thinking from Maguchi is like, well, he could have a combat trick like Titan Strength and I could get him. But maybe it's greedy.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to lose your creature there to Fiery Impulse. I don't know. New format, right? It's tough to run through all those cards that quickly, but I think I think maybe it's a little greedy there in retrospect.
Right.
But it still wasn't bad for Maguchi. It ended up being a 2 for 2, so it wasn't like terrible or anything.
So Guardian Automaton after the Deadbridge Shaman attacks.
And Kibler does have Willbreaker, but
He doesn't have a second blue.
yeah, he's paying the price for that colorless land
Yeah,
there.
Foundry of the Councils.
Yeah, which is a good card. It's not that he shouldn't play it. It's just that it does come with the downside, and you can see part of it here maybe. He just passes a turn back.
Yeah, he could have played a Maritime Guard.
Yeah. So what does he got going on here? What is old Brian Kibler up to here? We're going to find out momentarily. I have a feeling.
All right. Attack. Maybe he's going to discard the Maritime Guard to the Deadbridge Shaman's ability.
He did.
Is there nothing this card can't do?
Wow.
Wow, read the bones now for Maguchi.
One of my favorite cards in the set.
Probably-
better feeling, right?
Probably too many words in that sentence, right? Like, you just love anything that says draw 2 cards.
Yeah, but my favorite card in the set sitting in Brian Kibler's graveyard. But Read the Bones is on the list for sure.
Funny, we were talking about maybe that was Goldforge Sentinel. Before there's a Goldforge Sentinel in Andrea Mangucci's deck and hand.
Okay, so we'll probably be seeing that next turn.
27 and 28.
Seismic Elemental here for Kibler. Not great, but it'll do. It's a 4/4 for 5, which is good enough to hold back the Guardian Automaton.
Right, late in the game, it's got a falter
I think
effect.
that card's fantastic.
Yeah.
I rated it very highly. You know, when you give me a 4/4 for 5 with a big upside, or like a potentially big upside for free, I'm in. Very in. I think that card's great.
So 4/4 flying Goldforge Sentinel comes down.
I also predict I'm going to lose to that card a lot.
Which, the Seismic Elemental?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have all these walls and all this card drawn. I'm going to feel like I'm invincible, and then I'm going to be taking 12, and that's going to be it.
That's a true story. It's happened.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's an uncommon. It won't come up too often. Well, Kibler found a land so he can crack that Foundry of the Councils if that's the plan he wants to go for.
Okay. Gets in for 4 here. Plays a 6th. He also has a gold.
He does have one. That's funny. This could be a big turn for Maguchi if he has a removal spell of some sort. Doesn't look like he has it, though, so he's just going to attack. Now, this is a big question mark for Kibler, whether he wants to block. He does not. So he feels like he can push through this last chunk of damage here. He's just fallen slightly behind in the race.
Right, well, he can also stall for a couple turns with his land that's going to make him 2 1/1s. So he can. If you want to go racing back and forth, he can buy himself a turn or 2.
Yeah, that's true. Maguchi got in there to drop him to 9, but now has to figure out what the rest of his turn looks
Looking
like.
at a Gilt Leaf Winnower with no targets.
Sometimes you just play it. All right, so down goes the Seismic Elemental.
Swift Reckoning.
Yeah, and there is the Winnower with no targets. You do that sometimes, though. Especially after you played a removal spell. See if Kibler attacks with his Sentinel, or if he's decided, you know what, I'm the one on the back foot.
Kibler just drew a second island. I don't know if he has any way to target anything.
Seems unlikely he would for 1 mana. Oh, Scob Goliath. Well, that's a 6'9" trampler. And yeah, he does not attack now with his Gold Forge Sentinel, so the tides have turned a little, and he's now going to leave it back to block.
Is he?
And he left it
He
back.
didn't attack.
And then he just takes it anyway.
He's like, oh, you're willing to attack? Well, and I'm not willing to block.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, leaving it back does give him a Gilt Leaf Winnower block option, effectively holding that card back as well.
Okay.
So
Charging Griffin.
it's not just about the Gold Forge Sentinel. Remember, the Winnower has Menace. Got to double block it if you're going to block it.
Oh, yeah.
If he would have attacked with his Gold Forge Sentinel, he would have taken 4 in the air plus the 4 on the ground, no matter what.
So Kibler is at 5. He says go.
And you can see his pace of shuffling quicken a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got this Foundry of the Councils that he can use. Well, he's got some cards in hand too, so this one's not over yet. This is game 3. Kibler's throwing a curveball at Maguchi by sideboarding into a red-blue deck. He was red-white in game 1. And Maguchi's doing the math.
He attacks with the Winnower.
Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, this is going to allow him to block with the Scob Goliath on the Gilt Leaf Winnower. And if he wants, he can trade off Gold Forge Sentinels as well. He could also chump.
He's at 5.
Yeah, this is a sketchy spot because Maguchi will have seen that Kibler could do this. And if Maguchi is willing to trade off a Winnower for a 1/1 Thopter, you got to figure he's got something to do with it, and he does.
Macabre
Oh
Waltz.
no! Does he have another black mana to take down the Goliath? That's the question.
He does.
He's
He's going to
discarding.
discard Hangerback.
Hangerback Walker.
Yeah.
And he does. Oh God! What a blowout!
He's like, you said that he saw that Kibler could do
Right.
that.
Yes.
And he's like, well, you know what? I need this to die.
Yeah, there was a reason. We knew there was a reason, and now we know what it was. It was Macabre Waltz.
Okay.
Huh. You know, snapshot when Kibler passed the turn last turn to now has changed dramatically. Kibler's at 5, and now all of a sudden is facing down multiple good threats.
Right. He's holding a Will Breaker, but doesn't really have anything to do with it.
No, this
Would love it.
happens.
Would love to play it and have like a send to sleep,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, tap it to your guys. Take them both. Right. That would change this board.
Dramatically.
Dramatically.
It would force Maguchi to have a removal spell.
The dream is then to untap into Whirler Rogue.
Steal their other thing. But
Okay. So he's going to play the foil Will Breaker.
this is kind of interesting, though, because Maguchi is going to have to consider the option that Kibler could steal a creature at instant speed
Right.
during combat. The problem is that Maguchi, once he gets his team sideways, he's like, sure, you can't block with it.
Right.
So Kibler kind of has to show his hand here. If he is going to steal something, Maguchi can say, go to attacks. And if Kibler says sure, then he
Right.
knows, okay, well, my things aren't getting stolen here. And he does just that, and Kibler says nothing. And Maguchi knows what to do here. Right click, attack with all. That's for all the Magic Online players out there.
There you see Will Breaker. So he's going to be able to just take. He's going to
He's gotta
disperse.
the
The Gold
Sentinel.
Forge Sentinel. Which lets him eat the Charging Griffin. He's going to lose his Will Breaker. Doesn't really have a choice there.
and he's going to go to 1.
Yeah.
Gulp.
Cruel Revival.
Doesn't get anything back, but he's got a follow-up play for another lethal threat, and that will do it.
Wow, Andrea Maguchi 7-0. 2 rounds to go. He's locked for day 2. I don't know if we had him near the top of our boards. I'm curious what he needs at this point. I know he's someone who's like really like getting his way up towards gold, I think. But we'll have to take a look and see. But he's into day 2. He gets the draft. Brian Kibler falls to 6-1.
Look what Jerry did. I'm pretty sure that Yuza just mulliganed. You don't watch enough streams. Video 5-5-5.
That has some IRL origins. 5-5-5.
Okay. Well, it looks like Jerry may have gotten his wish. I wonder if he feels a little bad now. The 5-5-5, but it worked. Jerry Thompson, of course. Oh no! Oh no! He's doing it! How dare you! So Jerry, of course, did a stint in R&D as a development intern.
Yep.
He is no longer there, and it looks like Martin's insta-kept.
Okay, subtraining scout on turn 2. And a fetid imp for Jerry Thompson. I'll attack.
No blocks.
Yeah, and no land.
Here comes a gear crafter now for Jerry. And this could be a quick one, though. He did find a 3rd land in Martin Yuza. Not his other color.
Needed that to be a green one. Needed that to be a forest. There's Deadbird Shaman.
There's a forest. Does he have a way to stabilize here?
I mean, he's not under tremendous pressure. He's still at 17. He can trade with the Deadbird Shaman. He's got some.
With what? What does he have?
He's got a wolf in his hand. He's got a Cobble Brute.
Okay. So he trades with that. He discards a card.
It's something he can't cast anyway.
Right.
Like a Vastwood Gorgon.
And then he leaves Jerry with, at least as the board sits, only 2 power.
Right.
Okay.
Which gives him a couple turns to draw out of it. Find
Oh,
something.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice. I mean,
You know.
Jerry might also play a spell this turn,
Sure.
which would be annoying. But
A Chandra's Ignition would sort of unmulligan him. Oh boy.
No. Fire Fiend Elemental with haste. And that's probably going to prompt Martin to trade for the
He's
Elemental.
got to trade for the Elemental, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the problem is that Martin's going to be thinking in his head about what can I draw, and he's got 2 Chandra's Ignition, and he's in desperate
land
times.
Ignition here.
Land and Ignition. Oh, he has neither of which in his hand,
No.
so he's going to have to just trade here. And I think, isn't the Elemental just sort of the
We certainly don't want it to
obvious
get.
block here?
Yeah. Takes 5. Evolving Wilds from Jerry Thompson.
Sentinel Spider. There's a Somberwald Alpha for Yuza, who just needs to find running lands, and he'll actually be stable. He'll have a 6/6 Vigilance with Reach, and he'll have a 5/6.
Yeah.
But it's a tall
He's
order.
going to have to discard one of those because he needs to block the Shaman.
Well, he's also got a Titanic Growth he can get rid of
Okay.
if that's something that he doesn't want. But I suppose you can just discard the Vastwood Gorger here anyway. And he's going to have to find... Jeez. Well, this looks like similar to last time. Just trade off for it. Take 5, though.
Go
See,
to
that's
7,
the problem,
yeah.
right? That he's taken a lot of damage in each of these transactions. Is that a Gear Crafter?
It is a Gear Crafter.
Well, that does nicely here. He can trade for Shaman and for Thopter.
Any more
Reduce-
haste creatures? Oh, read the bones for Jerry.
It doesn't have haste, thankfully.
Sees a land and a gold leaf and a gold forge sentinel.
Oh,
Looks
no.
like he's got a Chandra's Ignition.
What is going on here? You
What,
just
a
get... Is
common?
it the promo card and everybody's confused? Everybody gets it.
Yep. Get in with everyone. That's correct.
You like getting in with everyone here?
I think so. I think you just got to,
Even with the Chandra's Ignition?
yeah.
He can go Fetid Imp, Death Touch on Resignation. It's really good against red-green. It's just that he's so far ahead at this point that it's not that attractive.
It's pretty exciting, though.
It's still sweet, yeah. And he has that play available.
And Martin would die, too, because Death Touch.
He takes lethal.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you feel good here, or reasonable here. You take the trade, you discard the Titanic Growth, I guess, or the Gorger. Probably the Gorger.
I mean, the awkward thing, of course, is that he doesn't have the second green mana, but I'm assuming he's thinking, well, I'm going to have to draw that. I mean, the Spider is so much better than the Gorger. The Spider is truly excellent. Yeah, it's
Reach.
excellent card. One of the better cards, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Talking about Sky Snare Spider. Yep.
block. What does he discard here? Is it the Gorger? It could even just be the pump.
No,
spell.
look, it's going to be the Spider. Oh, no, it's the pump. It is the
It's
pump.
Titanic Growth,
Yeah.
yeah. That seems fine, too. He doesn't even have a target for it right now. Was that a... No, it was a Gear Crafter. Another one off the top that was really nice. Like, Martin has effectively stabilized. He's only taking one a turn at this point.
Yep. Goes to 5.
Yeah, well, now he's got lethal in the
This
air.
is game.
If Martin taps out, well, that's interesting. That would put him back up to 8. He would take 4, 8, 9. He's dead. He just ignitions the Sentinel. Wait, what did he...
He did it on the Fetid Imp, but didn't give it Death Touch.
Okay.
It kills the flyer, does one to Martin, and then he has a clear shot with the Gold Forge Sentinel for the last 4 damage.
Sure. So either way.
Yeah. Nice little play there.
I like it.
Nice little play from Jerry.
Yeah. He could target either creature. GG.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it. Yeah. We're going to get Jerry in the booth. Yeah, we'll do Turbo while he comes over.
So we're going to check in on Steve Rubin here and Alexander Hayne. Alexander Hayne with his Bant deck. Aspiring Aeronauts. Its friend attacking into a Hitchclaw Recluse.
Bold.
Another Aspiring Aeronauts. It's like it's open tryouts today at Haynes Studio. Can you fly? Come on down. Foundry of the Councils. For Steve Rubin. There's Titanic Growth. Kills the Spider.
That was a Might of the Masses.
Might of the Masses and Languish. See, Might of the Masses.
That's sweet.
Yep. His guy lives.
Wow, that was sweet. That's a Dwayne
And a
Inzali
Dwayne, yes.
with no friend.
Yeah. Shaman of the Pack.
Got bone
gets
dashed.
bone dashed, yeah. Dwayne Inzali ran into a Rock Smaulers there.
Rock Smaller's sitting there with the equipment on it.
And now a Rock Smaulers from Alexander Hayne. Oh,
Is that the 7/7?
that's the majoring responders.
At your service.
Yeah. Both of them get in front.
And Rubin uses the vigilance ability, as we call it.
I've got nothing else to do with this 7 mana.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Backwards in time. Orchard Spirit for Alexander Hayne and Read the Bones for Steve Rubin. How do you feel about Freaka's Disciple so far?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always find myself slightly underrating Death Touch at the beginning and then gradually moving it up on kind of whatever it's on.
And both it and Star Wars even doesn't have Death, but both of those cards have performed super well for me so
too.
far.
Yeah.
Just as like kind of like uninspiring looking cards on the surface.
But they do work. They really do.
Oh, Mantle of Webs here.
Really?
I believe that's what that is.
Yeah, no, that is what that is. find that I mean, it makes some sense, right? He has seen a lot of flyers, especially of the small ones.
Oh, and also
there's
the language.
He's just comboing off. Jace.
Oh.
4 cards in the graveyard for Alexander Hayne, so we could see Jace Fringe Prodigy transform here. Cancel that order.
It's gonna die immediately.
Wow. I love Alex's deck, by the way. He's got Sigiled Starfish.
Oh, is that a Sky Snare Spider?
It was.
Yeah. A lot of removal.
A lot of
Rubin's
removal
deck.
for Rubin. This is all post-languish. Jeez. Attack with the spider. And they have opposing wardens here.
Oh yeah, I keep thinking that's the Conclave Naturalist, but it's the
Valoran wardens. Yeah. Uh-oh. Flying doesn't really matter here.
No.
He's got two creatures that can block it. There's a Dwynen's Elite with no friend.
Titanic.
So 2 for 1 myself to get rid of this. Alex does what he needs to do.
Seal Deck All-Star Goldforge Sentinel.
It's been popping up.
Yeah. Alexander Hayne is low enough that he has to chump with an Orchard Spirit and then extends the